right, all set to go. Ready? And, well, let's get to chatting. Hello, my good friends. This is Chaos Angel here, also known as Lord of Omni, and I'm back at again with another, well, I guess, discussion with you guys. Little, talking about the elephant in the room type nonsense. I don't know whether or not if you can tell, but apologies if I may sound a little strange. I do have a little bit of chest congestion now. At first it started with a head cold, but that's neither here nor there. Thing is I really didn't want to actually do this with me having this sort of sound of voicing, but unfortunately I really didn't want to start the new year with any form of negativity or on a somber note or anything of that nature. That is not what this video is for. It is more so to address and pretty much talk about the fact on a subject that I wasn't exactly trying to avoid, but in some essence that is essentially what I was doing, and pretty much point out some of the things that's going to be going on forward for next year and so on. So the first thing that we have to talk about is the content on the channel in regards to many of my Final Fantasy XIV reactions and any other type of video game reaction when it comes to it. But first and foremost, Final Fantasy XIV. So it has pretty much already been like 2 years, and this month is pretty much about to end, so about 2 years, 3 weeks or 4 weeks or something of that nature. Either way, it's been a long minute. And I'm sure that when it came to it, I've been getting the question throughout pretty much the 2 years up to this point on exactly where in the world is the Final Fantasy XIV content. Also, excuse me for a moment. Apologies. Heard my phone vibrating. Anyway, so getting back into it, where exactly is the Final Fantasy XIV content? Where has it been? What has been going on? All that good nonsense. And before I could really get into that, what I really want to say first is that I want to wholeheartedly apologize. I am sorry for the fact that it is taking this long for me not only to address the aspect of this whole entire situation when it comes to the Final Fantasy XIV content and thereof, but not only that, but also to apologize for the long wait of actually providing said content. I unfortunately failed you guys for essentially not providing said content for the longest of times when it came to it, and it is something that has been nagging at me throughout the majority of the time. Trust and believe, it has I have been thinking about it pretty much every single time when it came to it, and it really felt as if I was failing those who are following me on said Final Fantasy XIV content when it came to that aspect. So again, I apologize for essentially, well, not exactly providing the things that I wouldn't exactly say that I promised, but more so what was to be expected of my channel. As far as that is concerned, I realistically have no excuse when it comes to it on exactly why it is taking this long for me to not only talk about it, but also just like bringing it out when it comes to the Final Fantasy XIV content. And in terms of any form of reasons that I may have, I mean, there is the whole entire factor of just life getting in the way, as some may or may not remember the factor that I have been constantly having troubles with health stuff. The very start of the year when it came to 2022, pretty much the first year I finally moved out, and so on and so forth, was dealing with the flu or cold, whichever. Luckily it wasn't COVID, but either way, that was one of the main reasons why I wasn't able to get into editing the gameplay for Endwalker at the time, as far as the actual MSQ 6.0 MSQ story. But there are a couple of factors that I actually have to confess on my sort of character when it comes to certain things and all that good nonsense. Again, these aren't realistically excuses. These are just things that I just feel that I need to be a little bit transparent on and let everyone know when it comes to some of the things that I get myself into, or some of the things I do or think, or anything of that nature. So first and foremost is the fact, one thing that you guys need to know about me is that I can be fairly OCD. I am, quite frankly, a perfectionist. And it is just a form of habit of mine when it comes to it, that whenever I am doing certain projects, or when I'm doing certain chores, hobbies, or anything of that nature, I can be fairly compulsive when it comes to the way on how I do those things, and the way on how I see certain things in the long run. One of the things that I have tried to make apparent is my need and wanting of my content to be of high quality, effectively. And you can see that with many of the complaints that I've had when it came to my editing softwares, and the troubles I would have when it came to making my videos for Final Fantasy XIV and anything else when it comes to that. My perfectionist tendencies really makes me want to strive in providing actual high quality content for you guys to enjoy. And for me, whenever I'm like doing these recordings and I'm playing the game, I am seeing these things in HDR 4K quality. Like, I am literally looking at these things in that quality while I'm playing Final Fantasy XIV. So it's just like, any of the times that I am uploading video, I want to see that even on my YouTube channel. I want to see that, or not me, more so I would like for you guys to also see what I'm seeing in that vein when it comes to it. So that is one of the particular reasons why, when it comes to it, unfortunately, even though that's something that I want, it's not entirely doable smoothly when it comes to the technology that I currently have. My computer, even though it is able to play the game and so on and so forth, it, like, I remember, if I remember correctly, I got this like in 2018 or 19, pretty much before Shadowbringers is what I can imagine or remember. But either way, it's like, even though I got this at 2018 or 2019, relatively speaking, this computer is, in terms of technology, is actually older than that. And so it's not really capable of like easily utilizing many of the resources when it comes to these like videos that I'm doing with these 4K HDR videos. Sadly, I just cannot for the life of me stress enough exactly how of a pain it is to deal with the methods that I have to do in order for me to actually edit these videos. And that is something that I'm also going to talk about after this. But yeah, that is pretty much the biggest factor, is just my OCD tendencies. My perfectionist tendencies are just always wanting to give the highest quality that I can provide, and I strive in order to do that, even though I realistically have no ways, or technically speaking have no reason to do so, when I don't exactly have the technology to do it in a smooth manner or easy way, in any easy way when I can think about it. I don't know, man. I don't know exactly how to explain it to you. All I know is that that is just something that I feel obligated, or that I feel I need to do for myself, more so than anything. But yes, and then not only that, the other factor about myself that I definitely need to address is, sadly and unfortunately, the one thing that I really need to be honest about is my tendency of procrastination. So yes, there will be moments that I can actually procrastinate on things when I need to get certain things done. And realistically speaking, many YouTubers who do this sort of stuff and so on and so forth will definitely tell me that if that is the case, then this is probably something that I shouldn't be doing when it comes to it. I mean, the whole entire attitude, as far as me talking about this whole entire thing essentially being a hobby and something that I do on the side, is like, it can be viewed in some fashion half-hearted, I guess, in many ways. And as much is that maybe the case, it's something that I enjoy doing. I really do enjoy making these reaction videos, and even more so, I would very much like to do a lot of other things. There are so many things that I wish that I am capable of doing in terms of video content that I would like to do. I try to think of like original things that I would like to do on this channel. There's one particular series that I have in mind that I really wish that I can actually start doing in order for me to more regularly upload videos within the given month, and not have like too many points of time that just span from each other in terms of video uploads. But at this time, it is currently difficult for me to do so because of all of the hubbub that has been taking place throughout the 2 years that I finally moved out from my folks' place. There's just been so much that I'm just trying to, how should I say this, grapple with and try to get myself situated in the long run. But that's just the adult responsibilities. I just have no choice but to accept. It is what it is, you know. But other than that, yes, there are points where I can be procrastinating on certain things when it comes to certain projects, and it did happen at certain points when it came to the Endwalker content, because of just, well, the amount of things. I guess we can go ahead and just get into the whole method of exactly how I do these videos. So let's go ahead and segue on exactly the process of exactly how these videos go in terms of editing, or in terms of recording, editing, and just finalizing these pieces of content. So getting into it, the one thing that I would like to point out is that I realistically have no actual ways other than just using the standardized PlayStation 5 recording for me to record my videos. As far as any form of gameplay that I have in mind, I would like to afford a way for me to do that in a more compiled fashion, but at this point in time, that's just not doable. And as much as I would like to record on my computer in order to make that easier, I personally would like to play via on my television, which actually provides me with the highest quality that I could actually record, and that is in 4K with HDR, all that good nonsense. Sure enough, I can get rid of the HDR if need be, but again, perfectionist. Anyway, so getting into it, like, the starting method when it comes to recording obviously is recording off of the PlayStation 5, and sadly the only thing about that when it comes to it is the fact that I'm limited in only recording an hour each time in order for me to actually record my gameplay. So I am left with effectively so many clips that need to be unfortunately converted, because with the factor that this is annoyingly being made as a WebM file, that is pretty much a file that I am unable to realistically use on either of the actual softwares that I've used throughout the majority of the time that I've been on YouTube. Freaking Sony Vegas, or Vegas, which I no longer use anymore, and also Davinci Resolve. There is no ways of me to just take the file that I recorded and just place it into the software. I just can't do anything as simple as that. They just can't let me do anything as simple as that. So I have to go through the painstaking process of essentially converting these files just so for me to actually edit them. And exactly what the, pray tell, does that essentially leave me with? Well, what I currently have to deal with is essentially, let's take, for example, the amount of recorded clips that I made for 6.0 in and of itself. So if I remember correctly, off the top of my head, man, I can't even remember the math, I swear to you. But off the top of my head, I do believe it was 15, 35, and 19. By the way, I just want to point out that when it came to it, the actual 6.0 reaction is actually in parts, and 3 parts. And so just giving a good idea, the first part was made out of literally 15 videos, and these can span from 30 to pretty much an hour, 30 minutes to pretty much an hour, depending on exactly how the recording went. The part 2 was made out of 35 clips. Yeah. Part 2 was quite frankly the longest span of time in terms of recording. And then part 3 was effectively 19 clips. Now, I really want to preface this that you gotta understand that with how these videos are like WebM files, they're 4K videos and so on and so forth, and I am currently using a computer that is an i7, let me see here, I think it was what was it 15? Now that I think about it, I can't really remember the specs of my computer. Give me the second. So it's like I have a Intel Core i7 with let's see, and I have installed a 32 gigabytes of RAM. And as far as my NVIDIA, okay, so I was technically right. A GTX 1050 is what my NVIDIA is. So yes, it is fairly old. So yeah, with that in mind, in terms of like conversion rate and rendering, it is quite frankly a mixed bag in the long run. Sometimes, depending on exactly the setting that I make for the actual converting process, it can span to essentially 4 to 8 hours, depending on exactly how long the video is. The longest being an hour, the hour long pretty much being 8 hours. And the reason for this is, well, not only do I have to deal with the fact that I have to convert these videos, but I also have to make it to where that the HDR coloring actually shows up so that you'll be able to see what it looks like pretty much from what I see when I'm actually recording it. So with the amount of videos that I have and the amount of hours that I believe I counted when it came to 6.0, it came up to at least 51 some odd hours and some odd minutes. So yeah, that was that. It was quite the process. It was literally quite the process. So after being sick in pretty much editing those videos when it came to the expansion, it did take some time, but just going from literally recording, having to deal with the files being a WebM and not an MP4, I have no idea why in the world you can't friggin' have a MP4 file for 4K, having to go through the process of converting, and then figuring out, even though I was able to figure out exactly how to get the HDR color to actually show up when it came to it, so that the video is actually the same as what I was seeing when I recorded it, just to finally actually edit said videos. And these obviously span with pretty much all of the other videos that I recorded from 6.1 to 6.5 and all that good nonsense. And so, yeah, that is essentially the process that I have to deal with when it comes to just effectively doing anything in regards to just editing gameplay videos. Sure enough, there will be some games that I don't realistically try to go out of my way in recording in 4K in some fashion, or at the very least not with HDR. But with Final Fantasy XIV, I really want to have that be in the highest quality as possible for you guys to check out. But that definitely left me with a lot more work than anything else when it came to it. So the long of it is pretty much that. The short of it is, I essentially was able to get much of the videos that I needed done and edited and so on and so forth, and they're pretty much ready to go in some cases. I might look back on some of them and try to like dabble on any of the ones I might find to not be of the quality that I want them to be. But the last thing that I need to address is, going forward, what in the world is going to be happening when it comes to the time of which these videos are going to be uploaded. So this gets back into the whole perfectionist side of things, the whole OCD nonsense that I was talking about earlier. And one of the other reasons as to why in the world I didn't realistically upload any of the videos up until this point, or pretty much within 2024 is when I will be planning to upload them, is the fact that when it came to the fact that I was already late when it came to 6.0 and we were already moving into 6.1, it kind of put me in a strange spot where uploading any older forms of content didn't really sit right with me when we were already moving along into other forms of content. And so it's like the actual timing wasn't really there for me to realistically start uploading all of my past stuff. And as things continued on to 6.0 to 6.3, it made it even worse. And so I just couldn't really find the opportunity, or more so the fact that I just could not find any reason in uploading these videos, while as we currently have like pretty much all this new content going on and people are pretty much past the point of all of the previous patch releases. So this essentially brought on the idea that I would effectively wait until pretty much everything has been concluded when it came to Endwalker, and that I will upload everything in a sequence each week in order for me to just, I guess, in some way drip feed the content and so on and so forth. Don't want to just like literally mass upload all of this stuff and whatnot. So that is essentially the plan I was thinking about going with in the new year, where after we have gone through pretty much of the Endwalker content and everything dies down, I will be able to upload these videos for you guys in order to see my reaction throughout the whole entire 2 years of essentially Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. I felt like that would probably be the best direction that I should go with. And yeah, that's pretty much the plan for right now, or just the plan overall. So with that in mind, like I was saying, with how there have been so many things in terms of news and updates, like the fact that we're literally only a week away from the Fan Fest happening, so it's like I can't really find the time to really upload any videos and start like drop feeding the videos during that time, because people are going to be focusing on the whole FanFest news and so on and so forth. And then in the middle of the month of January, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on with 6.5 Part 2 MSQ happening, and I will also need to record and start editing that, and by the time I finish that, I'll be able to start uploading things after the fact. So at this current point in time, I unfortunately still need to ask for you guys to be patient and just wait just a little bit longer. All I can say is that I will be uploading everything up until the point of essentially the next expansion, Dawn Trail, and I want to try and see whether or not if I can get all of this out before the media tour happens, so that we can just focus on everything that is just Dawn Trail. So as far as that is concerned, I think that's pretty much everything that I needed to discuss. Again, I wholeheartedly apologize for the wait that it has taken to just get to this point in me bringing up this subject and so on and so forth. But and well, with how so many things have just been going absolutely crazy, and the fact that I am still trying to figure things out after literally moving, and this being effectively my third year finally being out of my folks' place and so on and so forth, there's just been so many things that I had to essentially deal with. A lot of situations that how should I say, have been very I don't know, I guess stressful in some way, but it's like my focus tends to be like all over the place. Currently my focus is at the moment trying to look for a new car after unfortunately getting into an accident before Christmas time, but that is neither here nor there. I'm obviously still here, and I'm still gonna be here in order to literally give the hype for everything Final Fantasy XIV and gaming as per usual. But yeah, so with that in mind, guys, I don't really think I have anything else to say on the matter. I just really felt the need to get all of this out, to let every one of you know exactly what has been going on, what's going on in the mine, what's going on with the channel, and just really wanted to like finish on a transparent note at the end of this year, as when it comes to the new this new year of 2024, there is going to be a lot happening, quite a lot. A lot of things I have planned I can't really discuss here right now, but I will be trying to see whether or not if I can actually go through with those plans that I have been sitting on for quite a while. So with that in mind, guys, that's all that I have for you. You guys have a very nice day, nice night, nice morning, nice afternoon, all that good nonsense. You all have a happy new year. And, well, take care and peace out.